Well, the White House has tapped a Ebola czar. And at a White House press conference that just happened in the last hour, we have the video. We have an article going up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com as we ride this Ebola storm that's been born into the world, thrown into the United States as our borders are left wide open, as the aircraft are allowed to pour in with people that have it, obviously. As we witness the premeditated takedown of this country and forced inoculation, you can just see the script. CBS News reported hours ago that they admit that the new Ebola czar has no experience in anything medical, period. And now the White House press secretary, throwing it in your face, says they're not looking for an Ebola expert. Exactly. You don't want an Ebola expert to deal with an Ebola outbreak. Kind of like if you're trying to hire a new NFL coach, say for the Seattle Seahawks or the New England Patriots, you don't even want to hire somebody that has sports history. You want to hire maybe an Eskimo who's never even played a sport. Or maybe a little old lady from Japan who paints teacups. Makes sense. If you want to have an armorer to work on your guns, don't hire someone who's ever shot a gun or has any metallurgy training or any firearms training. Hire a Tibetan monk who's never seen a firearm or never used one. And again, it's all about being perfectly absurd, perfectly evil, perfectly over the top. Let's go ahead and go to this bombshell clip. The full video is on Infowars.com. It is live now. Kit Daniels just got it up very quickly. Good job, Kit, with an article he wrote in like 20 minutes. So here is the clip.
What does Ron Klain know about Ebola?
Well, the thing that's... Let's talk about... let me restate why this person... why the president believes it was important to add this person to his team. The president, again, wanted somebody who could serve in a coordinating function to manage the implementation of our whole-of-government approach to this Ebola situation. So I guess to more directly address your question, what we were looking for is not an Ebola expert, but rather an implementation expert. And that's exactly what Ron Klain is. He is somebody who has extensive experience in the federal government. He's somebody that has extensive management experience when it comes to the private sector.
Yes.
You'll recall that when he served here at the White House, he was responsible for working in the Vice President's office at a time that that office was responsible for implementing the Recovery Act.
And the swindling of the carbon taxes. That's enough. Yeah, this guy's worked for the Clintons and is the right-hand man of Al Gore. And what he's going to oversee is the hundreds of billions of dollars that are handed out to insiders in the response. And there's not going to be hundreds of billions made unless a lot of sick people. And the way they're acting now, I'm pretty sure they engineered it and they've got a cure for themselves. And they'll pass it on to the public with something else in the vaccine, a little something extra for you, which will make people sick, which they'll then get everybody trained to go, well, it did kill a bunch of people, make them sick, but would you rather die of Ebola? No. You know, it's all about just flaunting it, breaking your will. That's what it's all about. And until you understand their evil logic, until you understand their twisted ways they operate, none of this makes sense. But I've read their books. I mean, I read their writings. I understand them. They're very public about how they do this. It's all a sick joke. And there's one common denominator. They hate you and your family and love seeing you poor and pathetic. They enjoy poverty. They enjoy destitution. They enjoy betrayal. They enjoy lying and hurting people. And they're going to do a lot of it. Because they're not retail psychopaths that just grab some woman off the street and have their way with them. They grab whole societies and they just enjoy their work. And when they walk around at airports and see the mutated kids and see, you know, go in a restaurant and half the kids look like they're dying or a third of them are showing autistic spectrum and people can hardly talk, everybody's screwed up and they're on elevators looking at people that can't talk. See, I'm all freaked out. I'm all really upset and start crying when I'm in a doctor's office and I see, you know, 3 autistic kids in there. And, you know, and I take my kids to the movies and like a third of the movie theater is autistic or whatever. And just you can see the kids all totally sick and, You see babies that look real sick, and I'll say to the woman, I'll say, "You been getting the baby a lot of vaccines?" They'll go, "Yes, why?" And I'll go, "Need to look into those." I see a really healthy baby. And I go, "You don't take vaccines?" This morning I did that, and the woman said, "No, I don't. By the way, I appreciate your work." So I just see the little, but see with these people, they see all the victims and they're just walking around a power trip. Their disdain, they're like Satan. Their hatred for humanity, their hatred of God, their hatred of life. 54 million dead babies in America. They know it's a bloody sacrifice, and they're just roaring with demonic power. Just incinerating demonic will, just full power. Just selling you on their abominations and having their way. Eat the GMO, drink the glyphosate, get the breast cancer, take the shots, prepare to die horrible, excruciating deaths. Oh, they love you. Ray in California. Ray, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, according to Dr. Rima E. Labo, MD.
Yeah, I know who she is. She's been on the show before.
Yeah, from...
She's married to Major General Stubblebine.
Yeah, right. She claims she's getting this information from United States Department of Defense documents concerning studies on weaponized Ebola. The cure for Ebola, she claims that the actual cure for Ebola is nanosilver. And she discusses this at her YouTube channel called...
Sir, here's what I'm going to... I don't know if you listen to the show. We probably had 20 of these calls. I appreciate your call. There are Department of Defense studies, topically and internally. I wouldn't say anything is a dead ringer cure. There's a cure to not drowning, that's oxygen. There's a cure to not getting scurvy, that's vitamin C. So you can say you must have iodine or you'll get a deficiency and die. You must have vitamin C, you must have oxygen. Does vitamin C and other things, and the stuff that's in DNA Force, CoQ10, BioPQQ, does it super boost immune systems? Yes. Does colloidal silver kill viruses in a petri dish? Does the Department of Defense have research documents that have shown that it is certainly a promising treatment? Yes. Are blood transfusions promising treatments for people that have had Ebola and survived? Absolutely. And they're not doing that. They're giving drugs and vaccines. So I know they've gone after folks trying to promote colloidal silver as a cure. We don't say it's a cure because I don't believe it's a dead ringer cure. I think it's that word, because then, I couldn't get rid of a chest cold that had killed 3 members of my family this winter. My dad had it for 2 months. I'd had it for a month and a half. I went over to his house every day and made him drink basically 3 bottles of colloidal silver. I drank 2. Way over what you should do. Probably not good for you at that level. But I did it because it was better than what I had in my lungs, and antibiotics hadn't worked. I was off antibiotics. 2 rounds had failed. It knocked it out, killed it, praise God. That's my own personal experience. And so, yes, there are runs on it everywhere. We still have a little bit left that came in. It'll be a couple more weeks till we get more in after that of the 30 parts per million, which it's all technically nano-silver when it's that small, silver bullet. So I'm aware of all that stuff that's going on. I've been talking to Dr. Group. He's been talking to them. It's just that it's not that I'm even afraid of the FDA. It's that I legitimately don't think, in my view, and from the medical doctors I've talked to, that you can say it's a cure. I mean, my God, if somebody's got some colloidal silver and they contract Ebola, I mean, it probably helps, but can you say it's going to knock it out? It all depends on the person. But yeah, staying away from people that have it, sunshine, getting your guts cleaned out, not having deficiencies of things. I mean, what I'm doing is Beyond Tangy Tangerine from InfoWarsHealth.com. Survival Shield, Silver Bullet. I've taken Silver Bullet twice today. And I got a cabinet full of colloidal silver. And I think ours is one of the best out there, but I don't know. I've got like 5 brands in my house, literally. I had a bad feeling. I never acted like this when I had 3 family members die earlier this year. And I went and and silver knocked it out for me. I thought, man, I said on air, I said, I think this winter is going to be hellish with all the MRSA and all the rest of it. And I said, I'm stocking up on this. Separately myself, I've got a whole cabinet full of 5 different brands. Whole bottom shelf is my brand, and then the other shelves are full of other stuff. Because, I got family getting sick or dying again. I mean, I'm going to just be pouring silver down them. Because that's what it does. It goes around killing viruses and bacteria. We know that. But I don't think you can say it's a cure. But everybody always knew they used to keep milk good by throwing silver dollars in it. Back before they had refrigeration, they used to put it on baby's chest when they were born. There's a reason the elites would eat off silver. Everyone's known this for thousands of years, folks, that silver is a magical metal when it comes to your body's health. Now, too much of it can give you, only a few people have gotten this. If you drink massive amounts of it for years and years, you can get a little bit of blue tinge in your nose where the capillaries are. You can have it precipitate out. But if you live in an area with high copper, you can get, similar things like that too. But I've had medical doctors on about it, so do your own research, consult your physician. But that's what I'm doing. I didn't mean to cut you off, caller. Now listen, I got to go to calls. We're going to come back and go to racist. Then we're going to go to everybody else that's been patiently holding, Kyle, James, Anthony, and others. I didn't mean to go off on a jag about colloidal silver. All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. PrisonPlanet.tv is the nightly news website. I'll be on the nightly news tonight, 7 o'clock Central as well, with the other co-host. And we'll have a lot of special Ebola coverage there as well. Then I'll be back this Sunday live in studio, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. And our reporters, Anthony Gucciardi and Paul Joseph Watson, will be up in Dallas reporting live throughout the weekend. Look at these headlines on Drudge. Noonan administration, Ebola invasions reveal disdain for Americans. Report, soldiers get just 4 hours of Ebola virus training. Vomit scare at Pentagon. CDC tells New York to get ready. Prepping goes mainstream. Hospital worker in quarantine on cruise ship. Airlines now tracking 800 people. Texas restricts movements of hospital workers. That's what the Fed should have done day one. If you work around that, you don't then leave. That's why it's supposed to go to military bases. Controversy over self-monitoring developing. New Obama czar has no medical health background, but he knows how to divvy up the billions to friends of the Clintons. And he's in charge of that cashola. Let's talk to racist in Texas. Go ahead, you're on the air.
God bless you, brother. Thanks for taking my call. This is Wild Man / Racist here. As the open mic stated, we are screwed. I mean, if it's not going to be the Ebola thing or the open borders and the open skies and the ISIS and the World War III, which we're already in that anyway, countries are imploding from within, including ours. It's one of the utmost universities on and teaching medical, over half, according to the poll that Joe Biggs did, elected said that, yeah, bring Ebola patients over here, and over half of those said, yeah, we'll entertain them in our homes. I mean, my God.
Yeah, we're screwed.
It's crazy.
That's what the reporter said, and we're not only screwed, we're racist because we're like the other African countries wanting to seal our borders or stop the flights. We're not allowed to. So Al Gore's buddy can divvy up all the money, and Obama can decide where to spend it now once it spreads. And they're doing it in front of us. That's what's so crazy is they think they're going to get away with it. What do you think's really going on here?
I think they got the FEMA camps and stuff in place. They want martial law. I think it's pre-figures of that. My dad said, had a caller earlier said something about, going on strike, and you're saying that. My dad said that back in the 80s, that we could get this country on its butt, and they would listen to us if everybody would just go on strike. And this is back in the 80s. My dad said this.
Well, we've got to go on strike starting Monday through Wednesday. The article's going to go on Infowars.com soon to make Obama and them do their job, and it will bare minimum draw attention. But if a lot of people stay home and then are active on the internet with phone calls when this happens, and it's also a drill for sheltering in place for quarantining, self-quarantining, as a national drill, Americans, here's the headline, Americans on their own prepare for the outbreak with a national, grassroots shelter-in-place self-quarantine Monday through Wednesday to draw attention to the government refusing to respond, leaving the borders open, and issuing visas to West Africans. There's your headline. There's your article. And if people understand that, and if our listeners, as a core cadre, 3 million a day that listen on average, millions more out on the internet after that, take our article that's going up in the next few hours, send it out. Kurt Nemo's going to do a petition on the White House, basically with the same information. If you get it out, other people get involved. I don't even want the credit. Folks can take the idea for a national strike and say it's yours. I don't care. Just, I want to stop Ebola, and we've got to force their hand. I think that's the answer. God bless you. Let's talk to Kyle in New York. where you got flights coming in from Nigeria, people dying in pools of vomit. But they said everything's fine. Within minutes, he didn't have Ebola. Even though it takes days to do the test, they said to do the proper test, hours to do a preliminary. They said, don't worry, people dying in pools of vomit, everything's fine. And they're finding people dead in pools of vomit in Houston out of Nigeria, everything's fine. Do you believe that for a second?
No, absolutely not, Alex.
And is that because you're racist? You don't believe our Lord and Savior Obama?
That must be right. I must be racist then. I must be racist for myself for getting prepared, actually.
That's pretty racist, yeah.
It is. I ordered some hazmat suits. How racist is that?
Whoa. Well, you know, hazmat suits are secretly Grand Dragon outfits. All pointed tops on them.
I just want to say I've always been against vaccinations, and I ordered some of your products. I love your products.
Thank you.
I got the fluoride shield, the survival shield, the lung cleanse. I just started taking the fluoride shield and survival shield, and I'll tell you what, my moods have changed in the last couple of days already, and I think they're working great.
Oh, yeah, when you don't have iodine in you and other key stuff, you're not operating like you're supposed to. It's what your thyroid that runs all your, you know, basically hormones, regulates stuff, operates on. Go ahead.
And I also think that your lung cleanse off product is great, too. That clears up my weird allergy infections in like 2 days compared to anything else that they give me.
It's real. It's super powerful.
It really is. And I just want to say that they are planning for it to spread because yesterday it was announced that 2 of our hospitals in New York State here are all of a sudden prepared for Ebola patients, which I think is not correct. They said Upstate Medical and the one in Rochester, I can't remember it. But I think
oh, yeah, they're saying get ready for Ebola. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from that promo's about a month old, a little more than a month old. You can call it a promo. Here's the headline, AP, Africa stems Ebola via border crossings. And it goes on to say all the countries bordering the nations that have Ebola have stopped it, and there's no cases for months because they allow no flights and no one's allowed to come in. And if they catch you trying to come across, do you know what the Army does? They shoot you. And no one dare try. Because even if you sneak across sometimes, most of the time you're going to get killed. That's why you have borders, is when there's an outbreak in one country, you seal the border like firewalls in a ship or in a building. These are all blueprints how to stop this, and they turned them off. But our ship had firewalls. Obama ordered them torn out. Our ship had flood walls. It had bulkheads. They came in with blowtorches and cut them out. And they wouldn't be doing something this crazy if they weren't planning to spread it on purpose. See, if we're watching and can catch them doing a false flag, like bringing in Al-Qaeda or something, well, they'll just do something like bring in Ebola and do it in plain view like we're so stupid, and then pose as saviors in the response to it. So we don't have long. I'd give it a week. It may already be too late. If we can have a national strike, if all the media gets involved, nobody else has picked up on this that I've seen, if they pick up on our idea to have a national strike over Ebola, that our guest, James David Steele, the CIA, retired CIA field operative, if we go with what he said, I think Ebola is going to be staged, it's going to be released, there could be a national strike over this false flag. And then he didn't want to talk about his prediction when he was on with us last week. Didn't want to get into it too much. He will be on Sunday. I'll be live Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. I wasn't here that day last week. I was dealing with my sick grandmother and other things. That's another thing is that, you know how family stuff, there'll be no family problems for like 10, 15 years. And then, oh, uncle dies, grandma's sick and has to go to the nursing home and has medical problems. And this family crisis pops up. And this family member has this issue. It has been a very eventful last 12 months. I am ready for this cycle to end. We've never had more success reaching people, never had more success in the news operation. But I want success in turning the tide. I get so exhausted sometimes by the third hour. I kind of barrel through it being angry and sarcastic the first 2 hours, but I just can't believe how bad our government is. I just can't believe how evil they are. They are just the worst. They are so evil. They have such twisted ways of thinking and doing things. It's the slow motion train wreck I don't like. And I'm going to have to watch them spread Ebola and watch them grandstand and watch them take our rights and watch them make money off of it with the Al Gore scammer they've got running it. Don't they ever get brought to justice? No, they'll probably just arrest more Tea Party people and set up more folks for crooked toenails or not filing their taxes right. Or they'll probably, arrest some more pro-lifers or something. I don't know. Meanwhile, you got the University of Texas students, 17 out of 30, want to bring Ebola patients here and house them in their homes. Just mental midgets. Prey, just helpless little idiots. Arrested Development, just pathetic. Watch TV their whole lives, never been challenged, never even been in a fight, never probably had to work a job. They all just get government funding. Just shuffling around, just empty. And then we try to protect them from the globalist takeover, and they don't want to be protected. Instead, they serve the enemy and want our guns and our kids and want to arrest pastors in Houston for their speech. I mean, what a freak show. What a freak show. What a freak show. James in Texas, thanks for holding her on the air.
Yes, Alex. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I'm down here about 30 miles west of our nation's ground zero. The cleaning guys, the guys that have been running around cleaning up this Ebola mess, about 6 months ago, I was working with them, and I kind of quit when, I found out that Ebola was getting big from you talking about it in other countries, because I knew that would be the guys cleaning it up. And
well, sir, you need to prove you're not racist and run to the scene and eat the vomit. The vomit of an Ebola victim is the only thing as holy as Obama himself. You didn't know that? Sorry, go ahead.
And I'll tell you from the hours and days of training I've had, that's a load of crap. They're lying to us. And the people are eating it up.
Well, some of them are. I mean, we know the UT students that literally can hardly talk are. They're paying $400,000 to have a worthless education, but they can watch Bevo. It's okay because Bevo's there. But if you expand on that, the polls show people hate the CDC and hate Obama, but they don't care. He hates us even more. Yeah. So you quit doing, I guess you work for an environmental cleanup group, and you foresaw Ebola coming?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
Why do you think they had them clean up Ebola vomit and Ebola droppings? Why do you think they had them clean that up without hazmat gear on?
Oh, for the same reason they do everything else. Let us watch the left hand while they're doing something with the right. But
imagine, it's on the news that the guys at the hospital, and they're there, they know it's Ebola vomit. Ebola vomit, excuse me. They know it's Ebola vomit, and they're there just without any gear on cleaning it. I mean, what's wrong with people?
It blows my mind. But since Obama's got all his specialists that know better than the hundreds that you've talked to, why don't he start a show and just take them into the White House? Take the government facility he can house them in.
No, I agree. We should have a petition that they house at least the dirty diapers and of Ebola victims in the Oval Office.
How many signatures do we need, Alex?
Well, here's the deal. People say, well, Obama doesn't act on it. It doesn't matter. It draws attention that there's a petition up there. So I think we should have a petition to store the medical waste of the Ebola victims there at the White House since you can't get it, Obama said. I appreciate your call. It's like that Conrad the Constitution episode where they fall down the giant toilet following the Affordable Care Act. They find out it all comes out at the White House. I haven't looked at that in a while. What's the latest Conrad Constitution? Starring Alex Jones and Ron Paul. Anthony in Florida, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Listen. I got a comment. Another reason why I think this so-called war against this is ISIS is the fact that why would a terrorist organization name themselves after an Egyptian goddess?
Well, look, sir, it's all was thought up in a PR boardroom, probably in Hollywood or New York, as a way to, so the American people who can hardly talk could go, ISIS, Corazon. I mean, it's on record it was created by the West and funded and armed. And then they go, and then now NATO is fighter bombing the Kurds that are fighting them. So NATO is giving air support to Al-Qaeda. That's Obama's operation.
See what the thing is ISIS is going to go in there and slaughter them people, and then the Turks can just sit across the border and go, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. And sound like Woody Woodpecker. I like it. FX series, Archer removes ISIS spy agency name from upcoming season. See, that a spy agency named ISIS. They're all just thrown in our face. I talked to people involved in X-Men and Lone Gunmen on record. And the CIA came to them and said, we think you should put an episode where the government flies hijacked jets in the World Trade Center to blame it on Afghanistan and invade using a terror drill to make NORAD stand down, claiming there's hijackers on board. And that's why they had an episode 6 months before 9/11 of just that happening. It's all about flaunting it. That's why the CIA declassified that indeed they'd harassed and tried to destroy Gary Webb for his CIA drug dealing story. They released it just to say, hey, we'll do this to anybody we don't like. They publicly said it's all true. Yeah. They came out a month ago and they said, you bet. And the Hollywood movie came out and they basically admit they kill him, and that's just the way it is. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to abort more babies too. And then we're going to have you drink glyphosate, and we're going to put it in all your food and let you grow big old giant tumors. And then if you go up to the cash register and they go, would you like to give money for breast cancer research? You go, well, no. Actually, I'd like to give money, though, to preventing it if we could get the glyphosates out and some other things that are shown to actually grow the tumors. Oh, you just don't care about women? Sexist! I know one word, and it means I'm intellectual. Sexist. And penguins can't swim. Al Gore said so. And I want to pay him money. Al Gore loves me. Al Gore. I'll do a bit of overdrive to get to Tim in Illinois listening on 1530 a.m. in Chicago. And John in Ohio, Roger in Connecticut, John, Scott, and many others. We're going to go to all of you here in just a moment. With all the crazy stuff going on, challenging our immune systems out there, I'm doing everything I can to bolster my natural defenses. And first and foremost is Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Just go research, go read the information, go watch the videos, InfoWarsLife.com. You'll understand why it's so important. We do have a little bit of the silver bullet by InfoWarsLife.com, colloidal silver, 30 parts per million left. Then it'll be a few weeks till more gets in. We also have the Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality, the lung cleanse that's full of all these key essential oils. It's great for my allergies, my personal immunity, all of it. It's all available at InfoWarsLife.com, and your purchase there supports the entire transmission. I'm also taking DNA Force and all the incredible things that its patented, proven ingredients can do. Go read all that literature there. There's just too much to go over. InfoWarsLife.com, and your purchase makes the entire transmission possible. InfoWarsLife.com. From high-quality organic coffee to DNA Force to colloidal silver, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Tim in Chicago. Go ahead, sir. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Good.
You have scared the heck out of me for the past 2 years about these globalists and how they wanted to take down America. So I came up with an idea, but this idea won't work unless you help us with it. Basically, what I'm looking for is to try and find out who these people are. In other words, if you had a website, put up their names, their addresses, and phone numbers on it, believe me, America, within 6 months, will take it back again. We'll have these people on the run because we'll be pestering them so doggone much.
I totally agree with you, but people have to realize the power they have, not the power that I have. I mean, all of us together. The article just went live on Infowars.com. We're going to tweet it at Real Alex Jones. Please retweet it, folks. It's hashtag Stop Ebola Strike. National strike to force Obama to block West Africa flights. Administration committing criminal neglect by failing to secure America against outbreak. And we also need to add in there and secure our border and prepare for the massive influx that General Kelly has warned about. We're going to keep beefing up this article, but this is it. We've got to push for the national strike next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Even if a few percentage points of people don't go into work, and then spend that time on the internet and calling Congress and others, it will have a huge effect. So get other media to cover this. We need to stop the Ebola. We need to secure the border and stop the flights and point out the American people started demonstrating against this. Anything else, Tim?
No, that was it. I was just wondering whether we can get that website going with their names on it.
Now, again, say your idea again.
All right, basically what I'm looking for is a website that you might start with the names, addresses, and phone numbers of these people. America will get rid of them themselves just by pestering the heck out of them in 6 months.
Well, we should point out and create a master list of the top globalists that are behind all this so people just understand who needs to be investigated, who needs to be watched legally and lawfully. I agree with you.
Stopping this disease won't be easy, but we know how to do it.
Fighting Ebola, the president says a travel ban won't work. So why are so many countries doing it?
A national strike is the answer.
I'm wearing the same shirt I was when I was in the car with that family.
There is zero risk. I said it. There it is. I shouldn't say that. There's no risk.
If there were any risk, I would not expose myself or my family.
A national strike will force Obama and the federal government to secure the borders and stop West African flights.
A travel ban is less effective than the measures that we are currently instituting.
I have a question for you. Do you want to end up like West African countries that are in a stage of panic and total collapse, with the UN estimating that over 1 million people will end up getting Ebola by December? We are calling for a nationwide strike starting next Monday through Wednesday for you to stay home, especially if you're medical workers, police, EMTs that are going to be hardest hit by this, to draw attention to the fact that the federal government is on strike and not doing its default job, allowing these flights to come in. Even the Speaker of the House has said stop the flights. Senator Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Governor Jindal of Louisiana, but not President Obama. He's out defending this. Now remember, it was someone flying in from Africa that brought it here, now spreading to nurses and clearly others. Why do they want it here? To create a bigger crisis, to get more funding, to be a political distraction from all the other scandals. And the new czar, who works for Al Gore previously, who has no Ebola background or experience, no medical training, he's an expert at divvying up tens of billions in funding to insiders to run the Ebola disaster, where literally hundreds of billions could be made, not just on the vaccine, but on the disaster itself. So go to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. Get the article with the hashtag Stop Ebola Strike. Send it out on Facebook, out on Twitter. Send our article with the videos of the general warning and others so that people understand We don't have to be powerless and just watch the federal government engage in criminal neglect by design. If you're not essential, folks, or people like myself that have got to be on air, self-quarantine as a test. We'll call it a national strike, call talk radio, call Congress, call the White House, call media, send out tweets, be an activist Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to fight Ebola and to stop Ebola with the Stop Ebola National Strike. And never forget, if you're watching this transmission, you are the hope, you are the resistance. Alex Jones here to break down some exciting developments in the area of research concerning supplemental iodine. It's nothing less than phenomenal. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. And I used some of the mainline iodine supplements and they upset my stomach and I had some issues with it. Until I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group, who I was already interviewing as an expert on my radio show, and I began taking the product before he actually rolled it out. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals that are incredibly powerful that no one else has as a source for their iodine from between 7,000 and 12,000 feet, literally drilled out of the ground. You put it on a hot plate, and it turns into the pure gas. No one else has 99.99% pure iodine. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. I was over 270 pounds. And with the iodine, exercise, and better diet, I have lost now more than 50 pounds total, and I'm continuing to lose the weight. I have more energy, my libido, all this crap came out of my skin. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. And I know this for a fact. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating. This is trailblazing. And the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox special at InfoWarsLife.com.